From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Chris Carl.
Among Delaware's top stories for Tuesday, May 2nd, police are looking for this man accused of fondling a young girl in a public place. Is Senator Biden's presidential stock rising? And moving day for Madonna. Here are the details. State troopers are trying to identify a man accused of touching an 8-year-old girl in a sexual manner at Vince's Sports Center in Newark. Troopers say it happened April 15th. The store employee demanded the man leave the store at the time. He's described as 45 to 55 years old, close to 6 feet tall, weighing about 180 pounds, with gray hair and a short beard. Police say that he may be driving a late-model green pickup truck. Meantime, members of the state Senate want to keep close tabs on child sex offenders living in Delaware. WDEL legislative correspondent Carl Konevsky reports.
Senators approved the Adam Walsh Act, legislation pushed by Attorney General Beau Biden, a name for the 6-year-old Florida boy kidnapped and killed almost 26 years ago. It puts tougher restrictions on sex offenders. Senator Patty Blevins, an Ellesmere Democrat who sponsored the bill, says it's crucial that police know exactly where those people are.
The offenders of these crimes can't be cured, and we know that if they're loose in the community, they're going to offend again. So this is the one kind of predator that we know we have to keep an eye on. We have to know where they are. And we have to keep track of them in order to protect the public from them.
Passage would bring federal dollars to Delaware to help fund the program, and Blevins says this is the first step in a plan for the Attorney General to make sure pedophiles are closely watched.
Following up on those that don't register, making sure they go to jail. If they don't register, if they don't fill in the blanks and do what they need to do, he's going to find them and put them in jail.
If passed in the House and signed into law, sex offenders would have to register within 3 days of being released on probation or parole, down from the current 7 days, and do so in person. Reporting from Legislative Hall in Dover, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
A Newcastle area man has been arrested in connection with a deadly shooting, but was that shooting justified? 18-year-old Christopher Dennis was arrested after police raided his home and found a gun with its serial number scratched off. County police say Dennis was arguing with 39-year-old Walter Smith late Friday night at Hampton Green Townhouses. Smith pulled out a gun, grabbed Dennis around the collar, and pointed the gun at Dennis's head. When Smith pointed the gun at another person, Dennis pulled out his own gun and shot Smith in the head, according to police. Dennis is charged with several weapons counts, but not murder. If you live in the Christina School District, you might be relieved to hear that some financial goals are being met. WDEL's Ken Grant has more from last night's school board meeting.
The Christina School Board heard some good news from Chief Financial Officer Patrick O'Rourke during its May meeting.
The current financial position report shows a budget surplus at fiscal year end, June 30th, 2007 of $1.3 million. $1.2 million of this will be used to repay the state loan.
O'Rourke also pointed out that the district still has some unknown variables in the equation. Not everyone was happy about the financial news. Representatives from various teacher organizations chastised the board for not renewing several teacher contracts as part of the effort to fix the district's budget issues. The board also voted to move forward with plans to close the Albert Palmer School in Wilmington. District attorneys advised the board to move ahead with the vote, even though the city of Wilmington has filed a lawsuit to keep the school open. Ken Grant, 1150 AM. WDEL.
Supporters of wind power blow into Dover. WDEL News continues in a moment.
Oh,
Is everything okay, ma'am?
not really. I need to ride dark tomorrow to get to work, and I forgot to buy my dark card. I guess I have to find a ride.
Well, you certainly come to the right place. Didn't you know that Acme now sells dark cards and paratransit multi-trip cards?
Now, where?
They're available at our customer service desk.
Getting you there now starts at your 12 Delaware neighborhood Acme markets. Dart and Acme have joined in partnership to be your one-stop shopping place for both groceries and Dart cards. It's now easier and more convenient than ever to pick up your Dart cards with Acme.
The Biden campaign is welcoming news that his standing in the presidential race following last week's debate is rising. The National Journal in Washington has pushed Delaware Senator up to number 4, just behind Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and John Edwards. Mark Ambender, a guest on Delaware's News at Noon on WDEL, says the upgrade is based on Biden's performance in South Carolina last week. Ambender says Biden distinguished himself from the other candidates in the race. Imagine having a clean source of energy with costs that stay flat for a quarter century. WDEL's Carl Konevsky has that story from Dover.
Proponents of the construction of a wind farm stop by Legislative Hall to see state lawmakers and share more than 1,200 letters written by their constituents supporting the proposal. James Black, Community Outreach Coordinator for the Clean Air Council, says the primary reason he heard for supporting wind power is that it's totally clean energy.
Besides the environmental benefits of less pollution, less global warming, gases going into the atmosphere, there's also an economic benefit in that it's fixed price. The company that's putting in the bid is offering flat pricing for 25 years, which will help stabilize rates here in Delaware.
Bill Zach of Citizens for Clean Power says the alternative system is safer for Delawareans and Delaware itself.
The more we can have non-polluting industry generated locally and eventually displace fossil fuels, the better the health of Delaware's citizens are going to be. It's much better for the environment, no pollution, no mercury for mercury poisoning in humans or mercury poisoning of fish.
The proposal comes as a result of legislation passed last year in Dover calling on Delmarva Power to contract with new power sources. The proposal from Blue Water Wind would provide enough energy to power 130,000 Delaware homes. Reporting from Legislative Hall in Dover, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
A Newcastle church has a new resident, WDEL's Lee St. John reports.
After a quarter-century wait, Delaware finally has a Charles Parks Madonna to call its own. Back in 1982, the local sculptor created a buzz when he briefly exhibited a statue of the Madonna on Rodney Square prior to its cross-country trip to Our Lady of Peace Catholic Church near San Francisco. A second statue, entitled Our Lady of the New Millennium, was commissioned in 1998 and travels from parish to parish in the Chicago area. Final assembly and placement of Delaware's Madonna, the largest so far by Parks at 34 feet, took place on Tuesday at Holy Spirit Catholic Church, which is just off I-295 near the Delaware Memorial Bridge. If you'd like to look for yourself, you'll have to wait just a while longer. The statue will stay under wraps until its dedication on May 26th.
And a ceremony yesterday celebrated a special point in history for an 85-year-old Wilmington synagogue. WDEL's Curtis Gray reports.
Members of Congregation Beth Shalom were on hand as construction workers connected the old building with the new construction during the topping out. Supporters were able to sound the last beam before it was hoisted atop the newest part of the building on Baynard Boulevard. The decision was made in the 1950s by synagogue leaders to remain in the city and make the building more accessible and pleasing to look at. Construction is expected to be completed by the end of this year. I'm Curtis Gray, 1150 AM, WDEL.
From bad to good for Phillies pitching last night, WDEL Sports and your Delaware AccuWeather forecast coming up.
As you look for your college experience, make sure you look at Wilmington College, your key to success.
In WDEL Sports, it looked like it would be a short night for Cole Hamels after giving up 3 first-inning runs, but he settled down to pitch the Phillies to a 6-4 win over Atlanta. Hamels gave up just 4 hits the rest of the way, going 7 1/3 innings before being lifted. The Phillies' offense helped out, scoring 4 runs in the second to give Hamels a lead to work with. Catcher Rod Barajas homered for the Phils. They wrap up their series with Atlanta tonight. Freddie Garcia goes for the Phillies against Chuck James. Coverage on WDEL starts at 7 o'clock. The Blue Rocks' season-long offensive troubles continued with a 4-1 loss to the Frederick Keys last night. The Rocks scratching out just 1 hit against 4 Frederick pitchers. And a former All-Star football player from Newark High School is getting a shot with the Arizona Cardinals. Brandon Snow, who played fullback at Penn State, has signed a free agent contract. His primary job was a blocking back for the Nittany Lions. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast, a possible shower early today, otherwise clouds giving way to some sunshine later on, a high 72. Tonight, clear skies, low 46. For tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 66. Good news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 1150 AM, WDEL, or anytime right here at WDEL.com, including news video from Delaware and around the world from WDEL and the Associated Press. I'm Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.